Last night was a historical night. Whether you're in the Discord or just watching the free picks on the videos, we absolutely demolished price picks on both fronts. So as you can see here, this slip was from Thursday night. I showed it in last night's video. This pays 5 into 190. It's a 38xer. Yes, mine is refunded. I'll explain why I refund my picks later in the video, but just bear with me for now. So this was on Thursday, May 9th. Cashed this 38x for the Discord. Just last night, we hit another back-to-back 38x. You can see right here with this exact stack that I went over in the video. You could go and watch last night's video. This was 3-0. I said KCP, MPJ, and Jokic on the assist. Why? Because if Jokic is going over his assists, it's more likely that two players that are heavily reliant on assists, like KCP and MPJ, are going to go over their points prop, so I triple stacked them. Then I took a correlation stack over in Philly on the hits, runs, RBIs, that cash, and then I added the demon prop to give us that 38x payout instead of that 25x. So this pays 5 into 190 once again. So that's a 38x return on your investment. And I'm not done there, because I also posted this in the Discord that was a 10x. If you guys saw my community post, I recapped these all already. But Tyler Freeman, Kim, and Fernando. So these four guys right here with Austin Hedges, this was another 4-man slip I gave you guys in the Discord. It was a 6-man slip because I exclusively post 6-mans in the Discord. I gave you guys a 4-power instead, which did hit with Austin Hedges. I'll show you the actual slip that I gave in the video because I did play it as a 4-man too. Right here, 5 into 25 because we had this reboot on Austin Hedges. We went 3-0 on this slip here. So far we're 6-0. And then the other pick I gave out in this video was right here, DNP on Ben, but Caballero hit as well as Yandy Diaz. Clark Schmidt went under his 3.5 pitcher strikeouts in those first 3 innings. That's another 5 into 25. But again, that's another 3-0. So now we're 9-0 on the picks. We'll go recap the other picks I gave. I gave out this one right here, Tyrese Halliburton over 9.5 assists with Miles Turner over 16.5 points. Only Miles Turner hit in that case, so we're 10-1 there. Then I give out this stack here, Edwards on the under 5.5 assists with Rudy Gobert on the under 12.5 points. That's another 2 hits there, so we're 12-1 on the YouTube picks. I also gave out Pascal Siakam on his over 20.5 points. That puts us at 13-1. And then the last pick I gave out was Tyrese Halliburton on his under 19.5 points. That was the only other miss. So I went 13-2 on the YouTube picks last night. So you guys should have cashed if you watched last night's video and actually tailed the picks. And then I went to cash a 38x in the Discord, a 10x, a 4x, another 4x, another 4x. And it was a plus 54.2 unit night. So here are all the slips, 38x, 10x here, 4x here, 4x here, and another 4x. People always ask, how many slips are you playing to get these wins? And I always tell them it's about 10 to 13 slips. So this is actually for today's slip. You can see we have a counter. So this is the 10th slip. This is the 11th slip. Last night we played 13 slips, I want to say. So we sent 13, but 2 of them had DNP, so we canceled it. So it was a total of 11 slips. And of those 11 slips, obviously this is a very, very good day. Don't expect this every day if you join the Discord. Of those 11, we got a 38, a 10x, and 3 4x's. So that is how you get this profit of 54.2 units. So we got 65.2 units back from all our slips. If you add them all together, the 38 to 10, the 4 to 4, and all the 0.4s. And then we played 11 slips, so you subtract 11 units. That's 54.2 units of profit. And if a unit is $10, for example, you do 54.2 times 10, and you would have cashed out $542 of profit. This is not $542 back. It's pure profit. So that is a great number. And as you can see, not every day is profitable. Right here, we had a minus 28.4 units run. So we do not win every day, but when we win, we have these monster days that kind of outweigh every single losing day. So in May, for example, we have more losing days than winning days. We actually have 8 losing days in May and only 3 winning days. So minus 50 units if you just look at the losing days in May. But when you add everything together with all the big monster days, we're up 60.3 units. It has been 10 days. On a $5 unit, you're up $300 in 10 days. And this isn't a rare occurrence. We've been doing this for the past 6 months. We are up over 500 units on Prizepicks, up over 600 units when you add Prizepicks plus underdog, and we are at a new peak. This is how much you'd be up if you've been here since the beginning of the Discord on a $10 unit, 6,000. That's assuming you stay at a $10 unit all the time. Obviously, you're going to be bumping that up to 15, 20, 25 as time goes on, and you would probably be up around $15,000 to $20,000 realistically. If you want to get into Discord and start making money, you could actually get in for free if you're not on either Dabble, Underdog, or Sleeper Fantasy. Sleeper Fantasy has the best promo here, so I do recommend it. $500 deposit match with code OddsJuice. Underdog Fantasy has a $100 deposit match, and Dabble, you get to spin a wheel and sort of get a promo. Now, on Dabble, you only have to deposit $5 with code OddsJuice, and I'll get you in the Discord for a month free of Sleeper Picks and a week free of my VIP Plus picks, my Prize Picks, and Underdog picks. I'm sure a lot of you are not already on Dabble, so I recommend signing up for this one, and you only have to deposit $5 compared to a minimum deposit of $10 on the other 2 apps. But if you use any of these, DM me on Instagram. My handle is @OddsJuice, like you see on YouTube, and just send me proof that you used code OddsJuice. If you prefer emails, info@oddsjuiceinc.com, send proof there, and I will get you in the Discord. Free month of Sleeper plus a week of Prize Picks and Underdog picks. If you're already on these apps, guys, just invest in yourself. I've had people who have been in Discord since day one. Right here, Roger the coach. This guy's been here since November 20th. Now he's doing $53 units. He cashed 2K on this slip. He cashed $530 on this slip, and he cashed $212 on this slip. Now, don't expect to cash crazy like this if your bankroll is like $500 right now, but he gradually grinded up. He was at $5, and that's what it is in sports betting. It's a grind up. You're not just gonna magic making $2,500 hitting 1 in 5,000 parlays. Like, you have to be realistic with how you want to make money. Like anything, when you're making money, you can't think of it as a get rich quick scheme. You grind up slowly, and eventually you have nights like this where you're cashing thousands and thousands of dollars. Like our boy Roger, the coach here, who has been here since literally day one. I started on November 20th when we were up 3.4 units in that day, and you could see on his Discord tag November 20th. So be like this, invest in yourself. This guy's been here for 6 months for a reason. So my packages are $13.50 for a week. Now, I don't recommend the weekly package because anything could happen in a week. So if you want to get that month, stay committed, play every single day, be consistent and patient. That's literally all you need to be successful in this Discord. That is going to give you the Prizepicks picks. If you want underdog picks too, it's a good deal, only $65 a month. So you're getting extra book for about $15 extra. And the reason I say get the monthly plan instead of weekly is because literally anything could happen in a week. If you joined on this week, you probably would have thought it's the worst Discord ever, minus 33 units in a week. Yes, guys, things like that happen. You can't win every single week. But had you joined for this week and left right away without staying for this week, you would have made a big mistake because we cashed 55.7 units there. And then over 2 weeks, we're up 22.6 units. Over 4 weeks, we're up 80.7 units. You kind of get the point. Once you have that negative week, it doesn't really matter too much. Minus 38.3 units in week 20. But if you look at it on a longer scale, plus 55.6 units. And that's why I always have this graph here. You can see big dip here all the way down here. But then it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. And in the long run, we're always going up to this peak that we're at, 642.7 units. And if you're more of a visual learner, here's that month by month profits for Prizepicks. So 53 units here, 133.35 here, 25, 137.3, 73.75, 88.1 in April, and now we're at 60 units in May, and it has only been 10 days. So you get the point, guys. Join the Discord, invest in yourself, and don't worry that NBA is ending. I'm going to be cooking up for WNBA, CS2, whatever it is. All summer, I have strategies that work no matter the sport. I'm not a one-trick pony, guys. Don't worry here. All that yapping, let's get into the actual picks for today. I'm going to be having a 6-man and a 4-man. So I haven't done a 6-man in a while, but since we hit the last night, I'm feeling good. Let's try to hit a 6-man. And before we lock in a 6-man, I want to say 6-mans hit 3% of the time. So if you have like a $300 bankroll, don't go throwing $20 on the slip. Just because I'm hot yesterday doesn't mean I'm going to hit today. So just putting that disclaimer out there, put $5 on it, guys. Especially if you have a bankroll lower than $500, you do not want to be putting a lot of money on these. So let's start it off with a triple stack as I did with that Jokic, MPJ, and KCP yesterday. Today we're going to be going with some unders here on Luka Doncic on his under 10 assists. We're also going to be pairing this up with 2 players who are heavily assisted. Could already see Daniel Gafford on his under 11.5 points, as well as Tim Hardaway Jr. on his under 8.5 points. So there's a section of this site on NBA.com. If you go over to players and set the scoring, you could check how many of these points are going to be assisted. Tim Hardaway Jr. has 77.8% of his field goals made assisted because he's obviously not creating shots on his own most of the time. 77.8% of the time, a bucket is going to be coming from an assist. So that is for Tim Hardaway. And then Gafford's going to be quite similar here at 76.1%. So why does it make sense that we're taking Doncic on his under assist? Because if Doncic is not facilitating the plays, it's less likely that Gafford and Tim Hardaway Jr. are going to be getting points. Obviously, there's other players on Dallas that could be assisting the ball. But since Doncic is that main assister, when he goes under, it's more likely is the key word here, that these guys go under. And when you're playing DFS, when you're playing Prizepicks, you want to go for the thing that is more likely to happen. Is it more likely that I take Gafford on his over with Doncic on his assist? No, that makes absolutely no sense. So you grab the unders, just like I did with the Denver triple stack last night. And the reason I'm going Doncic on his under assist is because I always look at the juice to make my plays. And you can see Doncic's over 9.5 assists has juice towards the over. So the higher the minus, the more likely it is for it to happen. But the thing is, we have him at 10 on Prizepicks. And how many times do you guys lose by half a point? It happens all the time. So every half point is actually worth quite a bit, especially on assists where there's a massive difference between getting 10 assists and 11 assists. So you definitely want to make sure you're getting every point of value. So since we're getting that half point, I'm going with the under. Now, as I said, I'm going with Gafford and Tim Hardaway because their points are heavily assisted, but also I look at the juice on these respective players. So I'm making sure the juice is under on the whole stack. So Gafford has juice towards the under 11.5 points at minus 119, meaning his under is more likely to happen than his over, which is good to see for the stack. And then lastly, Tim Hardaway has even more juice towards the under, pretty heavy juice actually, to minus 129 towards that under. So now that we have 3 players that are correlated, we have a juice towards the under on each of them. So this is a great triple stack to implement, and it's going to be the first 3 picks of our 6-man. I'm going to move over to MLB to get the next 2 picks for this slip, and it's going to be a correlation stack over on the Atlanta Braves. I'm grabbing Austin Riley on his under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and then I'm grabbing Ozzy on his under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Obviously, these guys played for the same team. I say it every single video, but if the Braves are doing bad as a whole, it's more likely that both these guys go under together because they're going to get less at-bats, and they can't be running each other in if they're not getting on base. So imagine every time their rotation comes out, they're just both getting struck out or in play out, something like that. These guys are not going to be able to run each other in. They're not going to fill up their RBIs. They're not going to fill up their runs, and they're not going to be filling up their hits. So you grab less in the same direction, or more in the same direction. The reason I'm going with the less is because if we look at the juice, you see Ozzy with juice towards that under at -130. And guys, juice is the most important part. That's why I talk about it in every single video. You have to see where the sports books are leaning for these specific players. So Ozzy is way more likely to go under his 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs than his over. And for Austin Riley, he has a bit less juice here at -120 towards the under, but the correlation effect is very strong between these players, so you want to be throwing them in the same entry. And as always, I try to have them close in the lineup. So Ozzy is expected to be batting second, Austin Riley expected to be batting third. So these guys are going to be batting within that first inning together. And you can imagine if the Braves don't get a run in the first inning, that is a great start for us. Play on the unders for the Braves. I'm thinking might as well grab the opposing pitcher on his over pitcher strikeouts. Now you can't do that within the actual MLB tab, but you could go over to MLB Live. You can see Christian Scott is the pitcher for tonight and grab his over 2.5 pitcher strikeouts for the first 3 innings. So if Ozzy and Riley are not hitting, there's a good chance they're getting struck out. So ideally, Scott strikes out one of them within that first inning. Then he's only going to have to get 2 more strikeouts within the next 2 innings. There's a triple correlation stack here in MLB, and this is another triple stack over in the NBA. We're going to lock this one in as the first entry and create the 4 power. But first, I want to show you guys why I actually have to refund these picks. Basically, I'm limited. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know this already. But for anyone new that's going to be watching today, I'm only allowed $5 per slip and $25 per day. So since I'm running a Discord, I have to send the links so that people could tell. If I show you here on the Prizepicks tab, the only way for me to get these links is to actually play the entry itself. So I have to play them, then refund them, then play them again until I keep reaching my $25 limits, and then I could send all the slips for the given day. So that is kind of why I'm refunding these. I actually benefit nothing from winning these slips, but my Discord is what makes the money. Obviously, ever since I got limited, it only makes sense to sell the picks since I can't even make money on Prizepicks on this specific account. So that's exactly why I refund every pick for any of those conspiracy theorists out there. So that's going to be the first slip, 5 into 125 there, and then we're going to start the second slip. For the second slip, I'm going to start this 4-man over with some Valorant, and the first pick I'm going with is Aspaz. I'm not going with his map 1-3 kills. I'm actually going to go with his over map 1-3 first bloods. This is more correlated with rounds because you could only get a first blood per round. So assuming there's a lot of rounds, there's more opportunity for him to get first bloods. Kills a bit different because yes, you could get more kills if there's more rounds, but it doesn't necessarily mean he will be getting the kills. And in Valorant and CS2, how it kind of works is you have that main guy who will most likely be getting the first bloods. You have the entry guys who are more likely to get the first bloods, who play more aggressive approach rather than the more passive approach. So this guy, for example, Aspaz, is one of those players who was likely to get the first bloods for Leviathan. So in this case, the first blood kills are even more correlated with the rounds rather than the kills. So I'm going with the over 10.5 map 1-3 first bloods. And since I'm expecting more rounds, I'm going to go with someone from the other team. In this case, it's Icy on his over 41.5 map 1-3 kills from the exact same game, right? When you're playing Valorant or CS2 correlation, you want to look at the same game and grab the overs in both directions. I do want to show you why I'm going with Aspaz. You know, if we go over to underdog, you see his map 1-3 kills is set at 55.5. On Prizepicks, it's set at 53.5. So we're getting 2 kills of value on the map 1-3 kills. And I'm just assuming that his map 1-3 first bloods is also undervalued because his map 1-3 kills is undervalued. So we're going to go with the over on that. Then Icy set at 41.5 on Prizepicks. On underdog, he is set at 42. So at least we're getting a half a kill of value there. So that's going to be the first 2 picks of the stack. Then for a nice second stack over in the MLB, again, I'm not going to get into too much details because I just explained it with the other slip, but I'm going with Abru on his over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, as well as Tyler O'Neill on his over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. So basically opposite concept of what I just went for with this stack here on the Braves. If we go and check Abru's juice, we're going to see he has juice towards the over at -130, and Tyler O'Neill has juice towards the over at -135. So honestly, I think this stack is a bit better than the one I just went over, and this is going to be the full 4-man with that 6-man I just gave you. Good luck, everyone. Join the Discord.